Imagine being a child and not being able to tell someone that you're hungry or hurt. Imagine having a sensory system that feels like it's on constant overload. Imagine being constantly bullied by your classmates because you're somehow different. Or feeling that your precious child is different and you don't know what the future will hold for him when he becomes an adult.
With all the advances we've made in medicine, we're still in the dark about autism. People still mistake autism as a mental illness, contrary to the data showing otherwise.
Coined in 1943 by psychiatrist Leo Kanner, autism is perhaps the most misunderstood condition today. Yet it is also the fastest-growing developmental disability in the United States, with the diagnosis rate increasing by as much as 17% each year. Each year, as many as 1 out of every 150 children in America are diagnosed as being somewhere in the autism spectrum.
In the United States, over 1.5 million families are affected by autism today. Autism is more prevalent than cystic fibrosis, multiple sclerosis, childhood cancer, Down syndrome, or cerebral palsy.
Lee Grossman is president of the Autism Society of America, a grassroots organization started in 1964 by Dr. Bernard Rimland and a small group of parents who were dealing with autism.
Autism is 10 times more common than cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy combined.
After 40 years, ASA has grown into the largest grassroots organization within the autism community and has become a leading source of research and information on the subject. In addition to supporting much-needed research, programs, and services for people with autism and their families, ASA dedicates itself to increasing public awareness about autism and educating the public at large about what autism is and what it is not. Autism is not a mental illness. It's not the consequence of bad parenting. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects the normal functioning of the brain and manifests itself in a variety of ways.
People with autism are often delayed in their spoken language and communication skills. They tend to repeat motor mannerisms such as hand flapping or finger flicking. Certain stimulants such as light, sounds, and touch can be torture to a person with autism. Autism can range from the most severe low-functioning autism to Asperger's disorder and high-functioning autism. Those on the higher end of the spectrum tend to display some symptoms of autism. However, they're also able to function in society either at or above what would be considered a normal level.
Many of the symptoms of autism are subtle, almost undetectable to those who aren't familiar with the individual's condition. To an untrained eye, their behavior could seem suspicious, even confrontational, which is why Detective Dennis DeBalt launched an awareness program to help train law enforcement in how to handle someone with autism.
My son has autism, and I started the Safe and Sound campaign with the Autism Society of America to help educate law enforcement and first response professionals throughout America to give them a little understanding about autism so they can lower their risk, increase their safety when they interact with my son and millions of other children and adults with autism. Because one day they will meet our sons and daughters.
The Safe and Sound program has been credited in helping law enforcement officers during Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. As with any condition, early intervention plays a key role in helping patients live full, productive lives. For 9-year-old Matthew Klutz, early intervention has made all the difference in his development.
For the first year and a half, Matt was typically developing, a very happy baby. I remember he would point to things and say, "What's that?" and he slowly started to fade. We put him into a preschool classroom and saw the difference between Matt and other children his age. That summer we went to the beach, and our first day there we went down to the beach, and Matt was not enjoying it. He wasn't playing in the sand. He was running around screaming and holding his ears.
What Debbie Klutz and her husband John didn't realize at the time was that Matthew was experiencing sensory overload, a common trait in autism.
I took Matt back to the condominium and laid him down for a nap. I then picked up a magazine and read an article about autism and began to become frightened. It described Matt's symptoms.
When tests concluded that Matthew had mild to moderate autism, Debbie turned to the Autism Society of America, who provided her with the resources she needed to get Matthew into an early intervention class.
In the beginning, Matt was in an intense needs class for children with disabilities, and we found that wasn't intense enough for him. So we started a home-based therapy program called Applied Behavior Analysis. For 4.5 years, we had therapists in our house working with Matt 7 days a week, 40 hours a week, and he made tremendous progress. We were then able to eventually integrate him back into a community preschool setting.
Today, Matthew is thriving in school in a class small enough to accommodate his sensory overload tendencies.
Matt's a really funny kid. He has an incredible sense of humor, and we are truly blessed to have him in our family. We have hopes and dreams for Matt, just like any other child, that he will live independently, hold a job, maybe even go to college with the right supports, have friends, the same hopes and dreams that you have for any child.
Though there is no cure for autism, research is continuing to provide a clearer understanding of the condition. With each new discovery, we are one step closer to putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, giving us a complete picture of autism. To learn more about autism and how you can help, please visit the Autism Society of America online at www.lifewithautism.org or call 1-800-3-AUTISM.